And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live Q&A here on the Film Stock channel. It is June 25th. It is 6:33 p.m. Eastern, and I got myself a little water right here. A little small cup for today's stream. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're having a great week thus far. And I want to get ahead of this now. There's a decent chance, knock on wood, that something goes wrong with the Wi-Fi on the stream because it is about to rain here. It's the time of year where I live in Georgia where storms come in almost like we're in Orlando, Florida, and it'll rain for like 15 minutes. I just heard thunder. So if you guys heard thunder, that's what that was. But it's going to storm at some point on this stream, and I just wanted to give you the heads up. So if the Wi-Fi cuts out like it did last stream, you know why. But if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome. What these are, they're very laid back, very chill. Fire off your questions. I'll get to as many of them as I can. Movie-related, TV-related, life-related, sports, food, theme parks, whatever it may be. And we'll hang out for a bit. It might be about an hour stream today, I'm thinking, a little shorter than normal. Usually go an hour and a half to sometimes 2 hours. But an hour because I have to finish some editing to get a video out today. It's a Stranger Things video that I had some fun with. So yeah, welcome. And of course, hit that like button. It helps out more than you guys know. And Super Chat is the way to go to guarantee I get to your question, comment, or concern. It's also a huge way to help support the channel directly. So yeah, anything goes a long way, but I think that kind of gets the intros out of the way. Let's just dive in. Let's do this thing. Okay. All right. I like this. We got to talk about this first. Squid Game Season 3 on Friday. What am I thinking? This is from Albert Einstein, by the way. And apologies if I'm laggy. I'm already getting the Wi-Fi logo. This could be a disastrous stream with the Wi-Fi. We'll see. Regarding this, though, I've actually been rewatching Squid Game. I started my rewatch a few days ago. Watched all of Season 1 in 2 days. Forgot how great it was, if you want my honest opinion. I'm on, I think, episode 4 of Season 2 right now. I've watched the first 3. Yeah, so I have 4 left. Finish that up tonight and probably tomorrow, and then I'm ready for Friday. So I'm quite enjoying this rewatch, and I'm liking the show the most I've ever liked it, which is nice. I never have disliked the show. I thought I liked Season 2 quite a bit. I just thought it felt incomplete, and that was my big issue. It was like a setup. It was a part 1. Fortunately, we've only had to wait a couple months, a few months, 6 months, right? And we're right back on that. On track with it. So we're going to get to see the continuation of it. So when I look back at Squid Game, I won't really view Season 2 and 3 as their own seasons. They essentially are Volume 1 and Volume 2. They're just labeled as individual seasons for some reason. But I'm quite digging it. And I'll have a lot of Squid Game videos coming this week. I'll do a review on Friday. Probably going to rank the seasons in an individual video. And planning to also do a mega character tier list. Those are the 3 Squid Game videos I have planned. Potentially a sort of spoilery talk about the end of the season. We'll see. But I will be making Squid Game videos this week. And then I have a Stranger Things video coming out by sometime today. I don't know. I have a decent amount left to edit. But by the way, it just started raining if you guys hear that. But no, I will get the Stranger Things video out today. I was working on it, and that's why the stream started a couple minutes late. But yeah, I am really looking forward to Season 3 quite a bit. We can talk about that a good bit here on the stream, my Squid Game rewatch that I've been doing the past couple nights. Okay, here we go. Hey, Chris, I saw your review of Jurassic World Rebirth and know you didn't like it as much. As a casual fan who hasn't seen every movie, I enjoyed it. Do you think this movie will appeal more to casual moviegoers? Also, do you think it will get to $1 billion since Jurassic World Dominion was trashed by everyone and barely made $1 billion? So I put out an out-of-theater reaction to Jurassic World Rebirth. I haven't put out like a full-blown review yet. I will do that likely tomorrow or Friday. I saw it at the AMC Screen Unseen, which was Monday night, actually. That's how I saw it early. Look, I want to say that I don't think the reviews are actually going to matter that much. I think to a certain extent they will, but Jurassic has consistently proven since 1993 that it can make money. Scarlett Johansson's a movie star. Jonathan Bailey's on the come up. So, I mean, I think the movie's going to do well regardless. It could be completely rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think there's a chance it will be. And I think it'll be in like the 50s or 40s. by the time like all the reviews come in. Not that Rotten Tomatoes really matters all that much. I mean, it does for perception of a movie online and I guess ticket sales in a sense, but it doesn't affect my personal enjoyment of a movie. If a movie's rotten or fresh, it doesn't matter, you know, but that's what I was getting at that point. But regardless, I do think it will, you know, it's hard to say. Like, I think a lot of people just will want to see a big summer action movie, and so they'll go see this, and that's the reasoning behind it, and they'll be pleased and move on from it and not think about it or watch it again. I was really disappointed by this movie though, because I thought that it could have been something special, and I still stand by the fact that the concept for the movie is out of this world. Like, I think it's just so cool. The first 5 minutes of the movie set up something, and I'm like, they could play around with that and do something so new in this world, and they just never fully commit to that idea. And instead, we get like these two different character groupings, and it almost feels like two different movies, which is an issue that a lot of movies have been having for me recently. Like 28 years later, Elio almost like it's so clear behind the scenes there were like creative battles going on for what the direction of the movie should be, and what you get is it's a movie at war with itself. That's a saying I've said in a couple of my recent movie reviews. It's unfortunate, but it's the way it is. So. Yeah, regarding Jurassic, I think if someone doesn't care that much about the quality of something, they'll probably be pleased. I mean, it's very, it follows a formula you've seen before. There are new concepts at play, but it follows a very similar formula. And the characters aren't the most, they're fairly likable, but they're also cardboard in a sense. And I'm not saying the actors can't act. There are multiple Oscar nominees and a two-time winner in the film, but the performances kind of phoned into me. And it was like this forced chemistry between characters. Nothing felt natural to me. I'll say a lot more about it in my review, but regarding this part of the question, I think it could still get $1 billion. The main reason is like overseas, not domestic. These movies pull in numbers. They do. It's crazy. Go look at the stats. I think overseas, this movie will do big time. Here in the U.S., it will probably do okay, but that doesn't matter. It's a worldwide, gross, and so I think that worldwide, it's going to light it up. It will. It could do. I mean, like it might not do $1 billion, but it could easily do. It's easily going to do 800 mil. We got a super chat from Isaiah's Everything. I appreciate that. Thank you. What's up, Chris? How you feeling about the news regarding The Social Network getting a sequel? Great question. I saw this headline a few hours ago when it came out on Twitter. I am very on the fence about this because for those who don't know, The Social Network is a top 5 movie for me all time. It's in my Letterboxd top 4. It's one that I rewatch most of the times, multiple times a year. Like I rewatch it annually, sometimes multiple times a year. I adore that movie, truly. And so for it to get a sequel, I'm not 20 years. It could, I don't know if it'll come out in 2030, but I'd imagine the earliest this movie could come out is 2027, right? That's 17 years later. I mean, that's alarming. I don't know if it's necessary. My thought is like, if Aaron Sorkin wants to make a movie about, I think he said like the 2020 Facebook event, why not just make that movie and title it something else? And if you want to have Zuckerberg in it, it could be someone else. Why does it have to be The Social Network 2? Is that the only way? Like the way I'm viewing it is pitching it as The Social Network Part 2 the only way to get the movie made? That's my concern because it's almost like Sorkin is like, hey, I won, an Oscar for screenplay for this movie and everyone loves it. We can maybe bank on that name, but the movie is not necessarily going to be like some sort of direct sequel. It's very rare, actually, maybe never has happened to where a biopic type movie gets a sequel. So I'm very on the fence about the whole thing. I mean, I love Aaron Sorkin. I really do. Excellent writer. He's done The Social Network, Moneyball, wrote Steve Jobs. The Trial of Chicago 7 was one of the best movies of 2020. I haven't seen it since, but it's still one of the best movies of that year, right? Very tough to judge. So I'm conflicted, I think would be the word I would use. Conflicted, because I will watch the movie, but is Eisenberg coming back to play Mark Zuckerberg? It's not going to be as compelling. Fincher's not directing, and I like Sorkin as a writer, but as a director, he does fall a little short sometimes. Because at that point, he has total control, essentially, and he can get a bit too full of himself. Not to say that's a bad thing, but you see that in the Trial of Chicago 7. Whereas when he just writes and then someone else directs, Moneyball, Steve Jobs, The Social Network, it seems like there's more to it. That's just my take on it. But no, great question. Thank you for bringing that up. Actually, I totally forgot for a second there that was a big headline from the day. So thank you for that. And thank you for the super chat. Potato Man, how you doing? I'm excited for Rebirth. Well, I hope you enjoy. I hope you have a great time with it. Honestly, I did not. I mean, it was fine. It was totally watchable. Like it's not offensively bad. I think Dominion is offensively bad. Fallen Kingdom is not very watchable to me. This movie's totally watchable, and I'm gonna see it again because I went solo to see the movie, and my fiance Cam wants to see it as well, so I'm gonna go see it with her again. I'm not gonna like hate my time or anything. I'll probably watch it a couple more times in my life, but its ceiling is a 3 out of 5, and I could probably end up succumbing to that rating and being like it's 3 out of 5, but it's a 3 or 2.5, so it's like a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 type movie. The difference is not that. I mean, honestly, I'm looking at the last 2 movies I saw, Elio and 28 Years Later. And for me, if 28 Years Later, Elio, and Jurassic World Rebirth were lined up, and I could only watch one of them, like you have to watch one of them 3 times in a row, I'm going to pick Jurassic. It's the safest. It's something you've seen. And I think that's what's frustrating is there was such a great concept, but it does feel bland and a bit repetitive somehow. But that's the one I'm going to over those 2. So, I mean, it's serviceable. I mean, I don't know, guys. I was talking about this with my buddy Trevor from Film Geeks. I don't know if he's in here right now, but shout out Trevor. And we both kind of agreed it's been a bit of a rough year for movies. And I mean, there have been movies I love. I really, really dug Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. As a huge fan of that franchise, it worked for me, and I thought it was a beautiful conclusion. I quite liked Najah too. I really ended up enjoying Thunderbolts more and more with each viewing, but there hasn't been that movie for me yet that's like, that's a home run. Like that's the 5 out of 5 movie of the year, like by far. There hasn't been that movie for me yet. And it's frustrating. And I'm not going in expecting that every time. That's not the thing. Like I've gotten rid of any expectations for movies. I'm just going hoping for something that I enjoy. And there's just been a lot of mediocrity this year, a lot of mediocrity, like serviceable enough, but not something that really stands out in a crowded year. I'm looking at movies like the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake. It didn't offend me. I don't think the movie should exist, but like I'm always going to go to the original. The same for Lilo and Stitch. The same can be said for like Brave New World. I was like higher on it than most. I haven't watched it since it came out. It was fine. I didn't hate it. It's just like it's whatever, decent, meh, fine. All movies you've gotten this year. And that frustrates me. We haven't had a great, like that's a 5 out of 5 outstanding movie for me this year. I don't know what that could be. We'll see. But I hope that something soon can do that because it's kind of sad. Like, I don't know. It's been a while since I've had to wait this long in the year to be like, this is the movie that I'm like amped about. 2023 also was just a year that we got spoiled with, by the way. Anyway, I'm going to take a sip of water. We have a couple super chats here. Thank you, guys. Elizabeth with a super chat. We can't forget Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is getting a sequel. Thoughts on production design and the Phoenician scheme? So regarding the first part, that is correct. Cliff Booth, he's going on another adventure. And I've seen with F1 doing, promo for that movie. Brad Pitt's mentioned it a couple times, how Quentin Tarantino wrote the script, Fincher's directing. I'm honestly excited for that movie. I was again, initially a little hesitant, but with Brad Pitt coming back, with Fincher directing and Tarantino writing it, it could be a lot of fun. And I would just be down to watch more of that character in that world because I love Once Upon a Time Hollywood so much. So bring it on. That's my answer to that. Regarding the back half, I haven't seen the Phoenician Scheme. In fact, I'm not a huge Wes Anderson guy. I've seen 2 or 3 of his movies. Grand Budapest is the one that I actually like. I saw what was it called? Is it the French Dispatch? Is that the name of it? I saw that in theaters, actually. And there was another one of his that I've seen. But I've never been huge on his style I just not my thing. It's not my cup of tea. And so I don't have any thoughts on the production design for that movie, but I am very much looking forward to the new Once Upon a Time in Hollywood to answer the first part of this question. Gavin, shout out Gavin. Hey, Chris, who do you think will get an Oscar first? Edward Norton or Amy Adams? Ooh, what if I said neither? Is that a crazy take? Both have been nominated multiple times. Neither have won. I think that Amy Adams might be the Glenn Close of her time. Glenn Close, someone who's been nominated many a times and never won. I think Amy Adams will go down as like a great actress who's never won. Edward Norton, I think potentially his best work's behind him. Not to say he's bad. I mean, he wasn't he just nominated this past year for supporting in Complete Unknown, or he was at one of the awards last year. So look, Edward Norton could probably, turn in an Oscar-worthy performance. But if I had to say like one of them is going to win, I think I would lean Amy Adams, just because she does have so many nominations that the Oscars do tend to favor that at times, where they're like, they earn it, like a career achievement type thing. She could do something in 10 years from now that's like a biopic of something, and they just hand her the Oscar, So I would probably say her. Both probably won't ever win one, though. Is that crazy to say? Wild. I mean, there's just some actors out there who are fantastic that are never going to win one. But I say that as I think the rain might be picking up. And people go out and win them all the time, surprisingly. I mean, Gary Oldman, it took him forever to win one. Brad Pitt, it took forever for him to win one. Leo, it took forever to win one. Timothée Chalamet is going to have to wait a while. He'll win one eventually, but, he's been nominated, twice? Complete Unknown and Call Me By Your Name. He's going to have to wait a while to get his. It's kind of a stupid thing, honestly, the Oscars do. But great question as always, man. Great question as always. All right, let's keep it going here in the chat. Again, hit that like button. Helps out quite a bit. Shout out to the best mod in the game. Easton, I have a Stranger Things video dropping today if I can get it all edited and out in time. It's about the remainder of the year, like my predictions for the timeline of marketing with the trailers, the posters, and I compare it directly to season 4. So it's kind of a fun comparison video. And then predictions for when I think we'll actually get the official trailer, the poster, all that stuff. Final Destination 7th confirmed. Well, hell yeah, bring it on. I actually rewatched part of Bloodlines the other day because Cam was rewatching it. And I'm like that. I will like that movie a lot more when I rewatch it. It's just one of those that I know my score is going to go up for. Like, very confident in that. You got that right. Another Wednesday live. Absolutely. Not any Squid Game death predictions. Very, very tough to say. I'm pretty confident the front man's going to die. In Ho, I believe is how his name is pronounced. Like, I'm pretty confident he's going to go because someone's got to pay for what's been going down. If that means his brother dies with him and the two of them have this sort of moment, that could be very tragic. I'm torn on if Ji-hun, the main character, player 456, if he's going to live or die, because, he has, it's so tough, actually. There's a phone call in season 2. He calls, his daughter, and he hears, his daughter answers the phone. She's speaking English. And like, that's something that's always like humanized that character so much, is how he's wanted to be a father. But is in that moment, is it the writers saying, hey, like, he's breaking down here because he knows he's lost, like, not all of his humanity, because he's trying to do the right thing in a sense, but like the thing that made him like remotely a family man, something that could bring him down to earth, like, is he completely lost that part of himself? And so are they now allowed to have him die? And so it's a good question. I don't know. I'm really excited. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to watching this final season. My Squid Game excitement, it's never been this high. I really have enjoyed the hell out of this rewatch. And so much so that I'm pretty comfortable if season 3 is great. Which I think it could be, by the way. I think it could be the best season. I don't know. Season 1 was like, it was such a good one-off. It's tough to say. I think 2 will end up being the weakest of the 3. I just spilled some water on me because it's like the setup. It's like the part 1. Not a bad thing. But if 3 is great and sticks the landing, I'm pretty confident and comfortable in putting Squid Game on my like Mount Rushmore of Netflix originals. I mean, it already is in terms of viewership, pure just being iconic. And I think Stranger Things is right alongside it. But I'm pretty confident and comfortable in putting Squid Game on like the top 4 Mount Rushmore of Netflix originals. I'd say Stranger Things, Squid Game, and then the other 2 you can kind of fill in. I mean, Wednesday's so young in the game. That's got some time. I mean, there's others in contention for that spot. But that's a good, fun question I've asked lately. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Thoughts on OKC winning the finals? Don't care. I've over each year, I care less and less about the NBA. There was a point in my life where I was watching a lot of the playoffs and every finals matchup. 2016 was probably the peak of that for me. And ever since then, my interest has waned. I think the last finals I fully watched was probably the bubble with the Heat and the Lakers. But let's do a speed round to kind of catch up a little bit. Okay, I'm not watching Megan 2.0 anytime soon. Oof. Oh, we have some super chats. My bad. I did not realize that. Movie Fan 2002, always in here. Shout out Movie Fan 2002. Chris, what animated film do you think should have been nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars? Oh, that didn't. So like an animated movie that wasn't nominated that should have been. That's a tough one to answer off the top of my head because I feel like most of my favorite animated movies were nominated. Like Ratatouille, I'm pretty sure won. Yeah, Ratatouille won. Let's just look this up real quick. Best animated feature Oscar. And then there should be a Wikipedia page. There it is. Good old reliable. And then I can scroll down and I can see the winners and nominees. And, oh, not that one. Please give me a better graphic than that. Hold on. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So, I mean, it's tough. Let me take a sip of water. It's tough to say. I mean, I'll go with like, let's see, it looks like, no, that was nominated. Like so many of the best animated movies are nominated, so it's extremely difficult. I was about to say Onward, that was nominated. Most Pixar movies are, so that kind of disqualifies all of those. The Spider-Verse movies have been nominated. Look, I would say, I don't even have an answer for this question. What should have been nominated for best? Oh, I misread the question. I was like, this is tough. I'm a fool. What animated film should have been nominated for Best Picture? So, like, in general, Ratatouille is my number one answer. The Lion King should have been nominated for Best Picture. Indie cameo incoming. Hey, buddy. Is he sleepy? Mm-hmm. What a good boy. I completely misread the question and just babbled like a buffoon for a few minutes. Very easy for me then. Ratatouille. 1,000,000%. Toy Story 3, I believe, was nominated. And so was Up, I want to say. So Ratatouille, The Lion King. Honestly, Into the Spider-Verse should have been nominated. I would also throw a bone to
Sleeping Beauty.
There you go. I would throw a bone to, honestly, Finding Nemo. I've thought about that movie a lot recently. It's a fantastic childhood film. You're on camera, buddy.
What about Aristocats?
Aristocats?
Look at his paws. They're so demure and crossed.
Oh, look at that. He's getting good face rubbies. Yeah, I would definitely say those. Completely misread the question. Apologies for wasting your time.
Well, how did you interpret the question?
I don't know. I think I'm in my head. I was like, what animated movie wasn't nominated for Best Animated Feature? It was a weird thing. My brain wasn't working. Elizabeth says top 5 movies of 2035. My number 1 is Oppenheimer.
They probably meant
2023, I guess. Oppenheimer. I quite liked The Iron Claw, John Wick Chapter 4. The Holdovers was great, and then there's another. Maybe I would maybe go Across the Spider-Verse. I have a list, and those are all in my top 10 from that year. Hey, buddy. Hey, Bubba. And that's some order of movies of those 5 movies would probably be the top 5.
Say bye.
Thank you for your cameo, Lindy.
Bye, everybody.
He's so cute.
He's so long.
I know. He really is. Mitchell, welcome in. Glad to have you here. It has been a minute. It has been a while. Jeremiah says, did you see the new Fantastic Four trailer today? I did, and I liked it, honestly. I mean, the dynamic between everyone, especially Johnny and the Thing. I think Joseph Quinn's going to crush it. I've always been on that train. So, no, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's keep on looking through the chat here again. Super chat's the way to go to guarantee I get to your questions, comments, concerns. Elizabeth with another super chat. Top movies of the 2020s. We'll go obviously Oppenheimer, obviously Top Gun Maverick. Those 2 are above everything else to me. I also, in the superhero genre, give me the Batman. Give me No Way Home. In animated, I don't know what's the best animated movie of the decade. I mean, you got to go Across is in the conversation. I quite love Onward, but I have a big soft spot for that movie. Tenet was this decade, technically. What's like an underappreciated movie of the decade? Nowhere near best, but just a movie that I think is underappreciated is Bullet Train. Quite enjoy Bullet Train. So, yeah. What I know about The Walking Dead, quite a lot. A lot of spoilers. I've never seen it, but I grew up with friends who watched the show, and I just didn't care to watch it. So I was like, spoil it for me. Roberto says, have you watched Ironheart? I have not seen Ironheart. I plan to watch Ironheart when it's all out. I know they're doing 3 and 3. 3 episodes yesterday, 3 episodes next week. I'm just going to wait and watch it when it's all out. Someone asked about The Bear earlier, and I missed the question. The Bear, all 10 episodes drop tonight. I will be watching Squid Game tonight, season 2, finishing my rewatch. Tomorrow, got some busy personal things going on. Friday, I think over the weekend at some point, I'll probably watch The Bear. But I've never talked about The Bear. Here's the question from Brady. I've never reviewed The Bear on the channel ever, I don't think. It only comes up in like live streams or end of the year TV show tier lists. And so I don't know if I'm even going to discuss The Bear on the channel. Like, I don't know. I probably won't, to be brutally honest. I probably won't. I'll just watch that in my leisure. And Ironheart as well. Like, I'm on the fence. I don't know if anyone's interested. Like, I am going to watch it. But there's nothing I can do. Like, watching the half of the season right now and talking about it would kind of be a waste. I would need to see the full thing and probably go into spoilers. So that's why I'm saving that for next week, potentially. What's your favorite game to watch in Squid Game? That's a great one. I'd say, like, well, so thus far, like, what is the most engaging? And I think season 1, because I know they added some new fresh games in season 2, but my mind just goes to season 1. And on this most recent rewatch, one of the most thrilling and white knuckle to me was I forget the name of it, but it's the glass panes where there's tempered glass and regular glass. And there's, I think, 16 players left. And Ji-hun is the very back, but they all go through and they're walking it's like 25 minutes, I want to say. And I'm holding my breath by the end of that thing because there's a 30-minute timer or 16-minute timer, something like that. And they have to go through it. And then at certain points, like, characters are freaking out and stopping, other characters like pushing each other. Then at the end, there's obviously the player who like used to work in a glass factory. And so he can see, which one's tempered if he looks at the light reflecting. So they turn the lights down. Like, that whole thing, thrilling to me. That one really stands out. Tug of War is fast. It's not bad, but it's just really fast. And then, my favorite episode, not my favorite game, but my favorite episode of all Squid Game. And honest to God, I felt this way for a long time. It reminded me rewatching it. The 6th episode of season 1 of Squid Game is one of the best episodes, not only of Squid Game, but like, I've never thought about taking individual episodes from shows, but like, it's the best episode of Squid Game. It's when they play marbles. That is heartbreaking. It's devastating. It's just really well done all across the board. That is like the episode of Squid Game to me. And so that one, that's the best episode of the show. I can't stop raving about it. I really do believe that's like a 10 out of 10 ep to me. But it's the only 10 out of 10 ep, I would say. A lot of them are really good, but that's the best episode of the show. All right. It's almost been 30 minutes somehow. These streams fly by the way. It's insane to me. Anyway, hey, Chris, who do you think that mysterious writer in Wicked in the trailer for Wicked for Good actually is? So I have seen the Wicked play. I don't know if you guys remember that, so I will not answer this question. I do remember certain elements. So I just don't want to answer the question, and I won't. So yeah, we'll find out though, because I do know. I believe and Cam's the Wicked in my life, the Wicked person who knows all of that stuff, and so I know a lot of what's going to happen, but I'm not at all mad about it because it's based on a play that I have technically seen. I just saw it in 2019 and don't remember everything, but I mean, there are major reveals on Wicked that I vividly remember that are technically spoilers if you don't know anything. But it's like, I pretty much know everything that's going to happen. But that does not bother me because it's not that kind of movie to me. It's not like an Avengers movie or a Star Wars movie or like Stranger Things where there's like huge revelations made that, about the lore or like a villain's history or something like that, or who dies. Like, it isn't that kind of thing. So that's why I'm not like really pressed about that personally. Can I review all 5 Scream movies? I've ranked them all. I think I ranked all 5 after Scream 5, and I ranked all 6 after Scream 6. And next year, when Scream 7 comes out, I'll rank all 7 with Scream 7. Okay. By the way, over 100 people in here now. Hit that like button, guys. Helps out immensely. Super chat if you feel inclined to. You don't have to. It's just there if you're feeling You know, like you want to go the extra mile, but it's there and it helps out a lot, but by no means is it required. Just finished Game of Thrones. Even with its awful ending, it's my favorite show of all time. Honestly, valid. Like the ending's trash. I think we all know that. But the journey and the highs of that show are really unlike most shows we're going to get. And I know some people who can look past the ending. So if you're on the fence about starting it, you should just start it and like finish it out. But honestly, like it's a special show. I mean, I loved it. I remember watching it. Season 8 was like an event every week. It was an event. Was it 9? I think it was 9 o'clock every night on Sunday. And I watched most of them with Cam. I watched a good chunk with my buddy Andy, and we loved. I mean, and I think we had bought in delusionally to some of it, like the long night, the third ep. It's the same weekend as Avengers Endgame, and we were like, oh, this is sick. And then you I guess would it be take your rose-colored glasses off? You kind of look at it for what it is in retrospect. You're like, huh. Once the finale, and it's the last 2 eps that really derail it all. Man, that really is when I was like, oh, we're doing this. Here we go. Brutal, brutal, brutal. I have not seen Radio Flyer. I haven't even heard of Radio Flyer. Anthony, my day's going pretty well. How about yourself? Am I currently watching any shows for the first time? Yeah, technically, I'm still watching High School Musical, the musical series. Any fans? Any HSM TMTS fans? I have like 3 episodes left, and I binged like it was probably March or April. I watched it really fast, the first 2 seasons. I think I took a week off, watched season 3, and then I started season 4, and I'm like in the thick of it. Like I'm almost done with it, and then I think like what happened was I got caught up with like engagement plans, and then Thunderbolts came out. And then a lot of Stranger Things stuff happened. And so this domino effect of like, oh, I got to watch like 30 movie franchises, like Karate Kid I rewatched. And then, oh, I got to watch so-and-so. And so it's fell to the wayside. And so I haven't picked back up with it. But I have 3 episodes of HSM TMTS left. So I haven't finished it. I don't know how it ends. But that will be done by the end of summer as a goal. It's just like, that's what, 40 minutes an episode or something. So I got to get around to that. But that's the only show I'm watching for the first time right now, I'm pretty sure. All right. Great idea. I actually have had this one written down for a while, ever since 2022. I'm like, when we get the next trailer, I'm going to rank them. But like, I want the real deal thing, the real trailer. So when we get those, I'll rank them. What's the best movie you've seen so far this year? For me, I would say Final Reckoning. Oh, F1's in the conversation. I forgot we were talking about. F1 is a movie that's in my top 5. I think it's probably my 4. I have a ranking private list, so you guys can't see it. Because I know you'll go look and it'll spoil the end of the year ranking. But I have a private ranking of all the movies I've seen. I have another list of like the movies I've watched, but the private one is just for my eyes only. And I think I have it 4th to spoil that, I guess. Doesn't really matter. I think it'll go up though. I think it will go up on rewatch. So I had an IMAX ticket booked last week. I was like, oh yeah, I'll go see it Friday at an IMAX because I want to see an IMAX. And then it dawned on me that Squid Game drops on Friday and not Thursday, because like my brain is trained now for Netflix originals to drop on Thursdays. And I was like, oh, that's not going to work. I'm going to be watching Squid Game Friday, doing a bunch of Squid Game videos. And so I canceled it. I have AMC Stubs A-list now, so it's no big deal. But I canceled that, and I'm planning to go see it in IMAX at some point, maybe next week. But we'll see if I end up doing that or not. I would love to. It's just the IMAX, the AMC IMAX is about 25 to 30 minutes away, whereas any other theater, like a normal AMC, is 10 minutes, and it's not even that far. It's just Atlanta. And so, traffic. But if there was no other cars on the road, I could be there in 5 minutes. So yeah, that's my prediction for Squid Game though, is that I really don't have a good one, honestly. I don't have a good prediction. I'm kind of 50-50 on if Ji-hun's going to live or die. I want him to live, but I think there's going to be major deaths, and that's not even really a prediction. I think that's just obvious. It's Squid Game, You're about to hear a train over the hill, so apologies for the noise. Do I think First Steps will disappoint you? Honestly, no, because I'm at the point where I'm not expecting it to be like the best Marvel movie. I don't think I ever had that expectation. I'm going to mute real quick. The train was very loud, and so that's why I did that. Also, I took a sip of water, as you saw. I don't. My expectation is if this to be the best Fantastic Four movie. If it's not that, then the movie's probably disastrous because the best Fantastic Four movie I think is probably the first one from '05, and that movie's not very good. So if it's worse than that, then we got a problem on our hands that we'll have to address. I think it'll be solid. I think the worst case scenario is it's just fine, which is not what I want to say. But I mean, I don't think this. I feel similarly about Superman. I feel similarly about like a lot of movies. Like I don't think that Superman or Fantastic Four can be bad. Really, I mean, it'd be shocking if either of those were outright bad because of who's making them and who's involved. I think Fantastic Four will be solid to potentially really good, and I feel the same way about Superman. And going into both those movies like that is probably the best. I mean, I don't expect them to be like. I know people who are expecting Superman to be like the best comic movie of all time, and I don't. No one in this stream, but people I've met in the real world that do believe it, like they're very hyped for it, and I feel almost bad. Like I'm glad they're excited for the movie, obviously, but I feel bad because I've been in the boat of like having monumental expectations for something, and like no matter what the movie is or show is, it just doesn't reach that height because you've thought on something for so long that you've created like a false image of what the movie is in your head, and I mean I really kind of did that with Dial of Destiny. I did that with Last Jedi. I did that with honestly like for a minute Thunderbolts. Like I went into Thunderbolts thinking it was going to be some like game changer, and like it's just a really fun, good, solid Marvel movie. So no, there are people online who are like Superman's going to be the best comic book movie ever, and having that mindset is very, very dangerous because it's creating that false expectation. And I think that's just not healthy. It's not safe for our own minds, our own mental health, because then you just fall into this hole of creating false expectations for everything, and everything end up disappointing you. It's not a good place to be. So yeah, I don't think either will. I think they're both going to be solid worst case scenario. Apologies for any background noise. We have a super chat from Gavin. My bad, bro. That was 7 minutes ago. I did not see that. My bad. I did, and then I clicked over. That's my fault. But thank you, Gavin, for the super chat and the question. What is the best cinematography you've ever seen? Ever seen? Ooh. That's tough. That's tough. I mean, wow. I wish I had my Blu-ray. I used to have my Blu-ray shelf over here, like in my old setup at the old place, and I could just look over there and kind of squint and read the spines on my Blu-ray shelf, and that helped me a lot. How about I go to Letterboxd, and that might help me a bit. All right, opening Letterboxd now. What is the best cinematography I've ever seen? That's a great question, man. All right. It's probably going to be a movie that I've rated pretty high, so that's a good place to start. Films, I will sort them highest rated first, and that should help take care of this. Ooh, okay. We have some contenders already. I would argue pretty much anything Nolan touches. I sound like a big Nolan fanboy, but pretty much anything he touches is in the conversation. Not to bring up Oppenheimer again, but that's definitely in the conversation. I think Whiplash is in the conversation. Just some of the best shots I've ever seen in a movie. Boring answers, honestly. Jaws is up there. Been really on a Jaws train lately. I watched the documentary that comes with the 4K, like the Jaws at 50, it's called. I watched that. I love that. I rewatched Jaws annually. I already rewatched it this year in February, so I didn't watch it the other day because I had Squid Game to watch. But its 50th anniversary rolled around. I didn't rewatch it, but I'm probably going to get around to it around the 4th of July. Not on the 4th of July, I don't think, but around the 4th of July. Yeah, those are my answers. They're really basic and kind of boring, honestly. But I would say one of those movies that I listed comes to mind immediately. There are definitely other films out there that I've forgotten about, but one of those that I listed comes to mind immediately. How are you today? I'm doing good. Cool Guy Studios, glad to have you in here in the stream. I will definitely be doing a Jurassic ranking, but you'll have to wait about a week or so for that to come out. I'll be doing that like probably the Friday of release for Jurassic. I'm going to rewatch them. I say that like nauseously. I really don't want to rewatch the last two at all, like at all. So that's gonna be hell, to be honest with you. I hate Dominion. Oh my god. I just rewatched Jurassic Park a couple months ago, so I don't need to rewatch that, but I probably will anyway. And I got to watch Lost World 3. I watched all of them 3 years ago for the Dominion ranking, and I remember them all pretty vividly. So that'll be a fun ranking. And then I guess I'll see Rebirth again next week with the lady friend, the fiance, if you will. So yeah, I will have a Jurassic ranking. Okay. I'm not really an NFL guy. I love, college football. I always will, even though the sport's trying to cannibalize itself in a way and ruin it for everyone. But I think when it comes to the NFL, I used to be a Falcons fan, admittedly, but I have not been a Falcons fan since I was 12 years old. I swore off them, and I just don't care about that anymore. So I had no emotions when they lost the Super Bowl because I did not care. I liked them for like 2 seasons when I was a kid because I live in Georgia, and I had a friend whose dad was a Falcons season ticket holder. And so in 2010, I went to a Falcons game, and I was like, oh, I like the Falcons because I live in Georgia. And then I realized the NFL is not my jam, really. And I love college and the passion and the tradition. It's everything's, it felt more special back then. I still think it's got more heart than the NFL, but they're really trying to ruin it. So no, I've always watched the NFL just for matchups and players. Now I don't have an NFL team or a dog in the fight, which is nice because I don't care that much. I just casually watch. Whereas with college in Georgia, I'm probably like if years from now when I'm near the end, which is morbid to bring up, the doctor, if there could be a report and they said, here are the things that took years off your life the most, I think Georgia football would be number one. No question about it. Genuinely, I'm screaming. It's bad. My heart rate goes up. Like it takes a physical toll on my body when I watch a Georgia football game. Oh, Lord help me. All right. Stream 6 of asking you to watch Super 8. 2 more streams and then we'll talk. Would I be down for a Cobra Kai movie? Maybe a year, maybe like a Cobra Kai trilogy, and it has to be years from now. And I think the kids got to be a lot older, and we have to be separated from Cobra Kai for a hot minute. But even then, I'm kind of good with the way the show ended. I think it's a perfect ending. Are there dinosaur fights in Rebirth? Sort of. I'll be honest, and this is my opinion. I think others have actually disagreed, and this is just every movie that comes out now. Just differing opinions. I wasn't that impressed with dino action. It's present. I'm running through the scenes in my brain right now. Like there's definitely moments where dinosaurs are chasing after human characters, and that's the majority of what you're going to get. But even then, I'll be honest, like there was a scene that was really hyped up for months that was rather underwhelming in my opinion. And it's because the characters involved I didn't really care for. There's one character who I almost was rooting to die. Like I was rooting for this character to die, which is like, it sounds psychotic, but I'm like, I think the world would be a better place without Amir. You just have to watch the movie to understand what I'm talking about. But I'm like, this character is the epitome of cringe, and they're frankly a terrible person and just an asshole in general. And then they I don't want to get into spoilers, but I mean, there are characters in this movie that, yeah, I think, Jacob, you mentioned like rolling your eyes. You'll roll your eyes a lot in this movie. There's like a character who's like the poster child of cringe TikTok 2020 humor. It was, I mean, just annoying, just an annoying ass character. Unfunny. Like there were crickets in the theater every time this person spoke, and I was just baffled. But there's, I don't know, characters in the movie are weak. I'll say that. Ooh, I like this one from Melissa. Do I think there will be another Stranger Things experience? I would love to. I hope so. So for those who don't know, the Stranger Things experience it's still going, I think, on tour around the world, technically. But in 2022 is when it was in Georgia, and it basically is like a pop-up where there's like a whole walkthrough immersive experience. You're put into like Hawkins' lab and you interact with the characters. It's a cool like walkthrough, but then at the end there's like Stranger Things shops and food and drinks and all that themed in the world of Stranger Things. and it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm really glad that I got to go twice actually in 2022, and I had really a lot of fun both times. One of the times I went cosplaying as Hopper. I think that was my first time I actually ever cosplaying as Hopper. That's like the only cosplay I do is Hopper from season 3. But yeah, no, I hope so. I really hope so. I did not get tickets for Superman. I'm seeing Superman the 7th at an early screening. That is when I'm seeing Superman. So I'll have a review out on the 8th. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. I don't really care, to be honest. If I can, I think I can say that. And then, the information's already out. There's the embargo. But anyway, yeah, I'm seeing Superman on the 7th. So I will have a video out that night, social media, out of theater reaction, and then I'll have a review. It's almost here, guys. We're almost to the big dogs. The big dogs. I mean, we got one of the 3, Jurassic. We got 2 left for July, at least, in the summer. 2023, in retrospect, I think was definitely a peak year for movies. I hope Wicked for Good is a 5 out of 5, man. I'd love that. Do I like the Hunger Games? Absolutely. I love the series. I grew up watching those in theaters every year. Seen every single one of them in theaters. My top 5 of the year are Thunderbolts, or Bring Her Back, Thunderbolts, Companion, Killer of Killers, and Final Reckoning. Killer of Killers is in my top 5 too. That's the Predator animated movie. Favorite snack for a movie? I'm going Reese's Pieces in the popcorn with a cherry icy on the side. Go-to pizza place? I mean, fast food pizza is what I'm going to answer here because, that's just like where the conversation comes in. I never have Pizza Hut. I should have it more. I don't. But the pan pizza, I don't have that much. Probably haven't had it in 5 years. Regarding the what's it called? The freaking the one I go to the most if I were to choose is Domino's. Domino's crust is the seasoning they put on it. Ooh, it's elite. I'll say it. It's elite. Okay. Let's see. Fan cast for DCU Batman. I mean, I'm kind of on the train of just make it Pattinson, which I know it's something I may have had different opinions on over the years, but it's taken so long that at this point it might just be like, yeah, let's merge them. I think I might have said that in a recent stream where like Superman can have his own distinct style of films, Wonder Woman, whoever else you introduce, and then the Reeves versus like Batman, but we see that character in other films. I think it's actually worked in the MCU at times with like the Guardians movies having their James Gunn distinct humor, but the Guardians pop up in Infinity War and it still works, So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't know if I want to see another Batman. I know they're probably going to go that route of having another Batman, but I'm burnt out on having multiple versions of superheroes at the same time. I think what did that to me was probably The Flash when we saw Clooney again after having Keaton, after also having Batfleck for a while, right off the heels of Bale, and then we have Pattinson around. All of that, it's too much. I need one Batman. And I don't know if that's like an old head take, but that's just where I'm at with that. We also have Spider-Verse. We had the Sony Spider-Man spinoff films, and we have Tom Holland. Like, just stick with Tom Holland, and then once Spider-Verse is done, like, we got Tom Holland Spidey. So I don't really have an answer for the fan cast. I kind of copped out of this one, but took the easy way out, if you will. But that's my answer. Favorite Netflix show that's not Stranger Things? Ooh. I'll name some contenders because Cobra Kai is technically Netflix, but not really. But it is, but it isn't. It was acquired later on, and so I technically believe it is Netflix. But I'm not going to say that for that reason alone because it didn't start on Netflix. So I'm going to go with shows that got their start on Netflix. So that disqualifies You. That disqualifies Cobra Kai. I never seen Peaky Blinders. I think that disqualifies Peaky Blinders. So shows that got their start on Netflix: Outer Banks, Ozark, Squid Game. It's going to be one of those 3 off the top of my head, and it's going to probably be. I mean, I love me some Outer Banks, but it's obviously not. It's not my favorite of those, but I love that show. For how cheesy and dumb it is, to be honest. Like it's one of the few things where I'm like, this is it understands what it is so well. So Outer Banks, probably not that one. It's honestly, it depends on how Squid Game season 3 is. If Squid Game season 3 rules and sticks the landing and leaves no doubt, then it's going to be Squid Game probably, which the rewatch has solidified it as a great show, in my opinion. but a lot rides on a final season. This is not news. We know this. And so if season 3 of Squid Game rocks, I'll have a review Friday, by the way. Be on the lookout for that. It'll be a good one. If it rocks, which I really think it can, then Squid Game might just be my answer. Ozark's right there with it, though. Ozark's really awesome, and so is OBX. P4L, baby. Someone says Squid Game, top 3 Netflix show. I'd say top 5 college football predictions. It's so far out. Is it really, though? It's only about 2 months away now. Crazy to say. I don't want to bore you guys. I know a lot of you guys don't care about college football. I love to talk college football. But I would say top 5 predictions. I don't know. I'll say that I'll just give you one for a team that I hate with a fire-burning passion. I'll combine the two. I think both Tennessee and Florida will greatly underperform this year. And I think the ceiling for both teams is 8 wins, despite what the media will say. There you go. We'll see if that ages well or not. Would I ever watch Avatar: The Last Airbender with Cam? I have seen Avatar: The Last Airbender when I was a wee lad, a child, and when it was airing on TV. Nickelodeon back in the day, channel 63 on the TV I had. So I've seen it. I haven't watched it in, we're approaching probably 20 years. 2028, I think it ended in 2008 or 2009. So we're close to 20 years since I've seen the show. I will watch it again one day. I will. I've made that decision. I'll watch it again one day. I don't know if I would do content about it. I might just watch it in my own time, on my own time. But I would love to re-experience the show through an adult lens. I don't remember a lot of it. I mean, I barely remember hardly any of it. I do remember where I was when I watched the finale, weirdly enough. I think I watched it on like a Sunday morning for some reason. Maybe even on Easter. I don't know why. That memory stands out to me for some weird reason. But that could be off base too, for all I know. But yeah, I plan to watch it again one day because I know that the live action show is big. And I may cover that, honestly. If I watch the old one, I'm like, that's another show it's a Netflix show that's coming out. And you guys seem to like when I talk about the Netflix shows. I do. I mean, I talk about Cobra Kai, Stranger Things, Outer Banks, Squid Game, Wednesday. So yeah, I mean, I might as well add another Netflix show to the repertoire. So we'll see. Whose death hurt the most in season 5 of Stranger Things? I think Dustin would, because I mean, he's so young and innocent. And I'm rewatching season 1 right now. For those who don't know, on Patreon, I'm doing like a deep dive in every episode. I watched the 5th ep today, Fleeing Acrobat, and we're filming that tomorrow, I want to say. And so that is that version of Dustin. Like, I know he's older now, but just seeing like the lovable Dustin with the competitive, like seeing him die, oh man, that would just be so crushing to my soul. So crushing to my soul. We'll probably go for like 7 more minutes. Just call it a tight hour today because I have to do some editing and some other stuff still. I haven't even had dinner yet. It's 7:30 out here. I'm getting a little hungry, but we'll do a major speed round right now. Major speed round. I have seen Moana 2, wasn't a fan. Who do I think will be the show stealer, Ben Grimm or Johnny Storm? I'm honestly leaning Ben Grimm. I think they're both going to be great, though. Favorite Al Pacino movie? I'll exclude The Godfather 1 and 2 because that's kind of cheap. Dog Day Afternoon, great one. Ocean's 13 as well. Shout out. New subscriber, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here in the community. I have not seen the Squid Game challenge show, nor the Mr. Beast thing that kind of ripped off Squid Game. I will be ranking the Jurassic movies next week, so be on the lookout for that. Mount Rushmore of movie franchises, all factors included. If the MCU counts, that has to be there just because it changed the game for like the way. I mean, it invented cinematic universes in a sense, popularized them greatly, and pulled it off without a hitch. I would go Star Wars. I would then go. Those two are easy for me. Just longevity, box office, pop culture. Those two are very easy. Harry Potter. And then I probably would have to say that's like the big 3. I'd go Middle Earth maybe. And that one I'm not as confident in. I'm probably forgetting one that deserves to be there over it. I saw 28 Years Later. I have a review on the channel. Wasn't crazy. Hey, Chris. Hope all's well. Same to you, main gamer. Had a bit of an unusual question. Did you report, or did I see the report that Martin Coe apparently bit one of his co-stars at a convention? Yeah, I saw that. I saw like body cam footage. I'm so out of the loop on that whole thing. Very weird scenario. Very weird situation to me. Very strange. Like, what prompted him to do that? Even if it was like a play fight, I don't know. I'm not here to to really give my opinion on it because I wasn't present, so I didn't see what happened. But it's just a very strange scenario in general to read that headline. It's just a weird thing. Can we all agree that's strange? I don't know what the hell actually even happened, to be honest with you, but it's very bizarre to read that. Strange for sure. I know that there's a lot of discourse happening online about that right now. My opinion on it is it's freaking weird. Like, even if I don't know, like, it's almost indefensibly weird if he actually bit her, even if it was like a play fight. That's just weird. And is he okay? Like, is he mentally there if that's the case? I met him a few years ago. He was a nice guy and very chill, but like, what prompted you to even like play fight? I don't know. It's a weird, like, why are you, I don't know, again, but why are you play fighting with a co-star? I don't know. Weird thing in general. I don't know all the information. I haven't read enough about it. Strange in general is all I'll say. Yes, Q John Williams, Cat, Indy's the man. Indy's the man. You already know. Indy is goated. Indy is goated, as we say. Hello, Gabriella. Best Tarantino comedic scene, probably Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when Rick Dalton is like yelling at himself in the mirror. It's so quotable and just hilarious to me. Such a funny scene. If you're in here now, I agree, Elizabeth. Get that stream to 100 likes. Hit that like button if you're in here. It helps out immensely. Boom. Do it right now. Do it, to quote Palpatine. Nick M., how would you rank these movies you haven't seen based on your anticipation? Zootopia, Superman 1978, and The Black Phone. I would probably say Superman would be one because it's like an OG comic book movie. Then I'd go Zootopia maybe, and then Black Phone. I don't know. Intrigued by all three. I'll be watching them all for the first time this year. I got asked this last stream, and I stand by it. Better Call Saul has the better intro than Breaking Bad. The Batman is my favorite movie. Do you think it's better than The Dark Knight? This is from Achilles. I would say yes. It is a better Batman movie than The Dark Knight, and I think it's a better movie in general by a hair. Do I think The Last of Us Season 3 could save the show? I might have lost hope. I mean, the show is not terrible to me, but Season 1 was a huge, step above Season 2, and if Season 3 is all about, Abby, which it's said it's going to be kind of, that's disheartening. Quite disheartening, yeah. I got to finish out HSM TMTS. I know that I brought that up earlier in the stream, but I got to catch up on that. Best CFB coach this year, can't say Kirby Smart because it's Kirby. I don't know. Honestly, I'd probably say, I hate that Ohio State won the freaking Natty. It makes me sick that I have to acknowledge that Ryan Day actually won something. I guess Dabo's in the conversation still. One of those two guys. Flip a coin. Flip a coin on one of those two guys. I plan to. That's the plan. To watch the Superman movies and the Fantastic Four movies before the new ones. Nick says top 3 characters from the Bear. Carmi, definitely has to be in there. We would go with. It's very basic to say the big 3, but I think the big 3. But I'll throw a bone to Mikey Bear, played by Bernthal. I think his screen presence elevates every scene and episode he's in, so I think he is a character that I want to explore more. I'll actually say he might be the best. He might be my favorite. Do I think Mike will get a lot of screen time in season 5? Absolutely. I think we'll have the most since season 1 and 2. Definitely. Jose, I did watch Severance. It's one of my favorite shows of the year, at least season 2. Let's see. I haven't seen Andor season 2 yet. It's on the list of catching up, but I haven't yet. I would say I am looking forward to finally watching this, though, because you guys know I really liked Andor season 1, but this has become the Penguin, you know what I mean? Where I had the Penguin high on my anticipated list, and I just never got around to the Penguin. And I need to watch Andor, but I'm like 12 eps, right? I could do it, and I need to. I haven't. So I'm slacking, I know. I've done well with TV, though. I've watched a lot of good TV this year. Go Dogs. I saw someone said you're a Georgia fan. Absolutely. My CFB playoff prediction, just to get under my skin. Yeah. One of these is realistic. I won't tell you which one. but 3 of them are unrealistic. There's suspense in the air now. You don't know who I'm talking about. All right. I agree wholeheartedly. College football is better than the NFL. It's not even up for debate, really. Not even up for debate. Do you think in Fear Street 2 there were too many sudden / not needed deaths? No, I thought there was a good kill count there. I think that actually made the movie better, honestly. The summer slasher embracing the kills, I thought that worked for that one for sure. What's my favorite video game story-wise? I think I'd argue maybe the entirety of the Uncharted series has the best story I've seen in a video game form that I've played. Go-to fast food place, Chick-fil-A, honestly, if I have to. Like, if I had to pick one, because they have a lot of grilled options. They also got a great classic sandwich. You go spicy sandwich. Chick-fil-A is like a go-to if I can have it. But I also like Zaxby's, because I worked at Zaxby's. I don't know if you guys knew that about me. I think I've said that. I worked there in high school. But Cane's is fire as well. I just don't have it much because there isn't one directly near me. Okay. Favorite superhero franchise? I'd probably say Spider-Man, and I'd probably go the Raimi trilogy specifically. If I had to pick like one set of movies like within their own timeline, I'd go the Raimi trilogy off the top of my head. I've never seen The Legend of Korra. Never seen it. But I've heard it's a step down from Atla. Where was I in the chat? Finale of Atla came out the same weekend as Dark Knight. Incredible weekend right there. Frozen Wish in the chat. What's good? I have not seen enough Arcane to give you my top 10 favorite characters. I've only seen like 4 or 5 episodes of the whole show. Arctic Records. I haven't seen First Shadow. I would love to be able to go see it this year at some point if I find myself in New York. We'll see. I mean, I'm not writing it off. It's definitely possible, but it's something I would love, to do. I obviously want to experience that in person. Favorite anime? I've never seen one, but everyone says I got to watch Attack on Titan. Again, I'm doing a quick speed round here to round out the stream. A lot of repeat questions that I will not be answering again because I've already answered them. But if you want to hear me answer them, they probably were answered earlier in the stream. Okay. Serpico's on the list of movies that I haven't seen that I need to watch. I've never seen Summer of '84. I also have a sick feeling we're never actually going to get the Batman Part 2. It just makes me sick to my stomach, honestly. I'm so hyped for Zootopia. I'm so into the theory of the villain being a human. I haven't even seen any footage from the new Zootopia. I've kind of avoided it because I just haven't seen the first one. But we shall see. And I really do anticipate Zootopia 2 making a lot of money at the box office. A lot. Carson says, have you seen or heard anything about Weapons? I have. And I've seen like footage and I've heard it's a horrifying watch and it's intriguing. But horror movies like that, I usually don't watch in theaters. Let's see. Again, I've answered a good chunk of these already. I have played Spider-Man 1 on PS4, and I've not played Miles Morales or Spider-Man 2, but I own Spider-Man 2. My goal, obviously, one day is to play them all, but I'm so behind on video games because I just don't devote enough time in my day to those ever. And so that's something that I just would need to do in general. I need to. Please watch Summer of '84. What is Summer of '84? I need to know what that is. I feel like I've heard of it. Summer of '84. Summer of '84. It's a movie from 2018. It has a 57 on Metascore. You can rent or buy it on Prime Video. It's a horror film, and it looks pretty spooky based on what I'm reading here. Summer of '84. I'm assuming. Oh, wait, who's in this movie? Oh, that's not who that is. I thought that it had Sean Astin for a second, but that's not Sean Astin. just kind of looks like him. I kind of recognize some of the cast here. It looks like from the IMDb page. Interesting. Summer of '84. Huh. The more you know. Hadn't heard of it until the stream, I don't think. Do I like biopics? Of course I do. Yeah, I love a good biopic. Super chat 20. What is that? Is that I'm so out of the loop with the non-US dollar things. Is that euro? 20 euros for you to watch it. That's too funny. What did I think about the CW show Superman and Lois? Never watched any of the DC CW shows. Couldn't get into them. Movie Kid says, what's your favorite Pirates of the Caribbean and Indiana Jones character? Fantastic question. Love the profile picture. My favorite Indiana Jones character is Indiana Jones, which is very basic, but it has to be. I'll pick another for you just to make it a little different. I'm a big fan of Sala. Sala is probably number 2 for me. Regarding pirates, Jack Sparrow is a very easy pick, but Will Turner, great as well. Commodore Norrington, especially in the second movie, I like some of his moments. And then, Elizabeth's fantastic, but filled with great characters, especially the trilogy. Davy Jones is a great villain. I know I'm just naming like every Pirates character, but gun to my head, I go Indiana Jones, and I go probably Jack Sparrow. The 2 main ones, because they're great for a reason. I've seen season 1 of True Detective once, enjoyed it thoroughly. Very Stranger Things. Interesting. I like what I'm hearing. Most overhated movie from Disney? Overhated. Maybe the original Sleeping Beauty. I think a lot of people don't give it enough credit. But I don't know how many people hate it. Who do you think is the undisputed GOAT of music? My pick is Michael Jackson, apart from all the controversy. And I'm not even a huge fan of what I'm about to say, but I acknowledge their influence and their, impact over the years. I'd probably say the Beatles. I don't know, just in terms of, instantly recognizable songs and name and brand and imagery, probably the Beatles, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not a huge music guy. I love my playlists that I've curated, and I rarely do explore tons of new music. I kind of am set in my ways with music for the most part. Keep one, watch one, delete one. Curse of the Black Pearl, Deadpool, Guardians 3. I'm keeping Curse of the Black Pearl, watching Guardians, and burning Deadpool. Pirates 1 is so rewatchable. Bianca's in the chat. Shout out, Bianca. Have you seen their retheming Rock and Roller Coaster? Yes, to a Muppets ride, right? Like a Muppets roller coaster, and that's kind of to make up for the loss of Muppets Vision 3D, which I never actually went to. I've never been a huge Muppets person at all, so I am not like heartbroken by that news as many hardcore Disney fans are. But I think it's a weird retheme a bit. I've never been a huge Muppets person, though, so it's strange. I'll still ride it if I go back down there and it's there, obviously. But I'm excited for the Monsters, Inc. stuff. I did see this trailer. I liked it, honestly. I didn't react to it, but I watched it this morning. What director has the best debut film? Right. I would say... Technically, Whiplash is not Damien Chazelle's directorial debut, I believe. He did one film prior, something with a park bench in the title. Jordan Peele's Get Out comes to mind. I also would say Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs comes to mind. One of those two off the top of my head. I'm definitely forgetting a better directorial debut, maybe, though. Thoughts on Baby Driver? B-A-B-Y, Baby. Saw it in theaters. Big fan. And then we'll probably take like 2 more and wrap it up. So hit the like button if you're in here live or on the replay. Hit it, do it. And then I got to wrap this thing up. I'm going to try and finish the Stranger Things video tonight. It may be pushed to tomorrow. We'll see. But I'll answer a couple more before we get out of here. A couple more. It's been a fun stream, though, and I appreciate you guys for who've liked, who've watched, who've commented, who've sent in super chats. Thank you guys. Truly does mean the world. Do you think the Hulk deserves justice from Ghostface? In a sense, I think that his time has passed. The golden era of Hulk in the MCU is long gone. I mean, that was, phase 1, phase 2 into phase 3. I mean, Hulk anymore is not a lower tier character, but he's just less interesting. He's less interesting, I think. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Hulk. It's fine, I guess. Thoughts on a potential open world Stranger Things game, please. We need a sort of free roam Stranger Things game throughout Hawkins where you almost create your own kid and you're thrown right into the chaos of it all. I think that would be awesome. Like a Jedi Fallen Order type game too, with a story, but you can also do these side quests. That's what I would want. Would I want Pirates 6? Am I fine with 5? Aside that, do I like or disregard the most recent ones? I don't acknowledge 4 and 5, really. The trilogy is perfect to me, but I don't really go back and think about 4 and 5 ever. So to make a 6, I mean, you could right the wrongs of the last two, but if you make 6, it should be better than those two by a lot. It should warrant being made. It needs to be like significantly better than 4 and 5 and like on par with 3. And I just don't know if you can do that. Those movies were just like lightning in a bottle, special time. Or 2000s, they were big budget and it showed. And I don't know if they would make Pirates the same now. It'd be too CGI reliant in terms of like even filming. Like they would probably film it with the volume or something. Whereas they filmed on like, you know, in real water, like real ships were made and all that. So come on. I think they couldn't replicate the magic of the trilogy probably. Probably couldn't do it. Main Gamer says, did I watch the trailer for the Bruce Springsteen biopic? I did. I quite liked what I saw. I think Jeremy Allen White will, I'm pretty confident in saying this, get an Oscar nom for the performance. Even if he doesn't win, he's probably going to get an Oscar nom. I'm with you. I'm ready for Fantastic Four and Superman. Favorite Danny Boyle movie? I'm going to go Steve Jobs or 127 Hours comes to mind off the top of the head. And Justin says, we do a Fantastic Four review. Absolutely. When I see it, I'll have an out of theater, a review, a ranking of the MCU movies, a ranking of the Fantastic Four movies. It'll be a big month of July. In fact, I'm going to end on that note. Month of July, you can expect Superman content, Fantastic Four content, more Stranger Things stuff, more Jurassic stuff. On top of that, probably getting a couple more TV show type videos as well. So there's lots to look forward to as we approach July. But I'm really just looking forward to getting there finally, you know. A few more videos to end this month, though. Squid Game especially. So Squid Game fans, be on the lookout for my review of that on Friday. A seasons ranking, character tier list. A Stranger Things video dropping either today or tomorrow here on the channel. Full video, so look forward to that. But real fun stream. Again, thank you guys who tuned in live. If you're here on the replay, thank you for tuning in. If you hit the like button, if you subscribe during the stream, if you commented, if you just watched silently, I appreciate you being here. For those who sent a super chat, thank you for going the extra mile. It does mean a lot. But that is going to do it for this Wednesday night live Q&A. Again, thank you guys, as always, for watching. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.